cheaply, or they've done some crappy DIY job that their cousin's best friend's uncle's sister-in-law's brother is able to do on the job because he's a handyman. Because, you know... Finance Greg here. In this video, we're going to discuss a particular stock I am buying this month, and I'm going to be buying it heavily. And the company, of course, I'm looking at buying is none other than UK Commercial Property Trust. So let's just get straight into it. So, as it attains to this company, I think their valuation has dropped significantly, to the point in which I strongly believe it is a strong buy. And this market, we all know the UK is in a massive slump right now, but considering the stock has fallen over 46% in the last 12 months, I think it's very, very credible as to a buying option. And I'll explain my thesis right now. So, point number one, why am I buying it? Well, I've already briefly discussed. It's fallen over 46% over the last 12 months. That on its own is not enough to buy a stock, but however, this will lead nicely onto the second point I'm going to make in a couple of minutes. But going back to this, looking at their financials and the fundamentals of the company, we can see that their revenue has tremendously grown over the last couple of years, and it will continue to grow. And this leads on to my second point now, being that, so as we can see, we want to know why has the stock fallen. I believe actually over 52 weeks, it's been over 50% it's fallen. So why is that? Why is that, right? So essentially, what has happened is people are seeing house prices falling and people are struggling to make rent, and people are missing payments on their property, right? So they are discounting that fact that people are unable to pay their rents, and people are going to be defaulting and having to move out properties, which means that there's not going to be that rental income for the fund. But in my opinion, this is irrelevant, because looking at the fundamentals of the company and seeing the revenue growth, the net income, all of these factors are tremendously improving, which if you're a long-term investor, that is the best possible outcome you could receive. You want to focus on the fundamentals. Is the company going to grow in the long term? The short-term factors that discount the stock, all I see that is a sale, okay? When these stocks fall because of whatever is currently going on, they're trying to discount in the market, I see that as a nice sale. It's like a Black Friday sale to me, because I'm looking in 2-3 years from now, where is the stock going to be? And I don't see it going down anytime soon. Not only that, this stock is so great for people who actually don't own a property, because what you're doing is actually investing in real estate without actually owning the physical, tangible asset of a property, and all of the nightmares that come with owning a physical property, such as having to pay all kinds of repairs that go wrong and tenants that won't leave, and terrible, all sorts of stories that you hear about tenants. You haven't got the headache of that, but you're still invested in the market. You know, you haven't got to deal with some fool who's got a newborn and it turns out, oh, I'm sorry, my child doodled all over the wall and now it needs to be painted over. And then they paint it over and it's all crap the way they've done it, and it's all done cheaply. And then they've broken the toilet and they've got to repair it, and they've done it cheaply. Or they've done some crappy DIY job that their cousin's best friend's uncle's sister-in-law's brother is able to do on the job because he's a handyman. Because, you know, people do this, where they do their own DIY type stuff in order to prevent landlords saying, you know, we'll take it out your deposit. They'll do that often in order to stay face, I guess you could say, and they hope that the landlord won't notice the crappy job that they've done to repair whatever went wrong. So moving on to my third point as to why I'm buying this stock. Institutional investors own a significant stake in the firm, with 38% of the stake being owned by institutional investors. Now, why is this a good thing, you may ask? Well, considering the massive drop in the stock price of over 50% in 52 weeks, it shows that there's huge confidence in the future of the company. Although in saying that, there's not a big stake in hedge funds for this firm, I'll tell you that much. mainly because I think they're focused on other asset classes other than property. They're not looking into property right now because they're focused. Many hedge funds aren't looking in the 2 to 3 year and beyond horizon. They're looking in the under 24 months ideally for these returns. So they know that it's not really going to perform amazingly. They don't expect it to. There's other asset classes that are significant, but I do feel like they are missing out on this opportunity right here with this particular stock. Speaking of which, Phoenix Group Holdings PLC has the largest stake in the company with over 34% of the outstanding shares being owned by them. And if you don't know who they are, Phoenix Group Holdings is an insurance-based company in the UK. And think about it. What do insurance type companies, or let's take a pension fund, what would they typically invest in? They typically invest big stakes in safe companies that have strong valuation, strong fundamentals, and doing research. So taking that into consideration, I think we can note that clearly this firm has potential. So in conclusion, in my own opinion, from doing my own research, I've come to the idea that essentially property prices are not going to tremendously increase like they have been over the last 20 plus years. I believe where the real money is in rental income in the coming years as a result of the increase in rent prices. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know your opinions. Do you agree with me somewhat? Do you completely disagree with me? Do you think I'm just being a complete fool and I just don't know what I'm talking about? I want to hear your opinions down in the comment section down below.